Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about power not in your fists or in your voice, but in your silence. The kind of power that doesn't shout or beg, but simply is. No contact isn't just a tactic, it's a declaration of your value. A silent reminder that you don't chase, you attract. And today I'm going to give you 5 undeniable signs that your silence is speaking volumes. When you stop making yourself available, you create a void. And let me tell you something about human nature. We don't notice the air we breathe until it's gone. Suddenly the messages come through. The questions start to flow. Are you okay? What's going on? They feel the shift. And now they're wondering why the silence feels so loud. The most powerful thing you can do is stand tall in your own solitude. When you stop reaching out, you find strength you didn't know you had. You begin to shine, and people notice that glow. That's the magic of self-respect. It's like a magnet pulling the right things toward you while repelling what no longer serves you. Here's the truth: your absence forces them to confront themselves. Maybe they start posting more. Maybe they suddenly act like they're doing better than ever. But deep down, they're trying to convince themselves they're not affected. Don't be fooled by the show. Your silence is making waves. No contact isn't just about them, it's about you. When you step away, you stop feeding the cycle of hurt and confusion. The pain starts to lose its grip on you. And in its place, peace. That's when you know you're winning, when your heart beats steady and your mind is clear. And then, one day it happens. The power shifts. They start chasing what they once took for granted. They realize what you knew all along: your presence was a privilege. And now, they're the ones wondering if they still have a chance. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength in its purest form. When you go no contact, you're telling the world, I am worth more than this. And the world, whether it's a person, an opportunity, or a blessing, responds accordingly. True transformation often begins in the most unlikely of places: silence. In a world consumed by constant chatter, distractions, and the incessant hum of notifications, silence can seem like an unfamiliar, even uncomfortable void. Yet, it is within that stillness that profound change takes root. Silence doesn't beg for attention, it doesn't demand acknowledgement. It simply exists, holding within it the power to shift perspectives, heal wounds, and reveal truths that were previously obscured by the noise. When the noise stops, the message begins. Imagine a still lake, untouched by ripples, reflecting the world around it with perfect clarity. This is what silence offers us: a chance to see things as they truly are, not as they appear in the chaos of daily life. It is within this reflective space that transformation occurs. When we are no longer consumed by the distractions of the external world, we are forced to turn inward, to face the thoughts and feelings we often bury beneath the surface. In silence, there is no escaping ourselves. We confront our fears, our doubts, and our desires, and through that confrontation, we begin to grow. Silence also teaches us patience. In the stillness, there is no rush, no urgency to fill the void with words or actions. This pause allows us to observe rather than react, to understand rather than judge. When we stop trying to force answers, they often come to us unbidden, like a whisper carried on the wind. True transformation doesn't happen in an instant, it unfolds gradually, like the blooming of a flower. Silence provides the fertile ground for this process, giving us the space we need to listen, not just to others, but to ourselves. Silence can feel intimidating. It strips away the distractions that shield us from our own thoughts and emotions. It is in the quiet moments that we hear the doubts we've been avoiding, the dreams we've neglected, and the truths we've been afraid to face. But this confrontation is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. For it is only when we face these truths that we can begin to transform them. Silence also has a way of amplifying the important things. When the noise ceases, we begin to notice the subtleties: the way our breath flows in and out, the rhythm of our heartbeat, the quiet hum of life all around us. This heightened awareness brings with it a sense of connection, a reminder that we are part of something larger than ourselves. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that we often find clarity, purpose, and direction. Silence can be equally transformative. Words are powerful, but they are not always necessary. Sometimes the greatest understanding comes not from what is said, but from what is left unsaid. In silence, we learn to truly listen, not just to the words of others, but to the emotions behind them. We discover the depth of connection that exists beyond language, a connection that is felt rather than spoken. In silence, we also reclaim our power. It is easy to lose ourselves in the noise of others' opinions, expectations, and judgments. But when we step back into the quiet, we rediscover our own voice. We remember that we are not defined by the chatter around us, but by the truth within us. Silence allows us to break free from the external pressures that often dictate our lives, giving us the freedom to live authentically and intentionally. Silence is not an absence, it is a presence, a powerful, transformative presence that invites us to slow down, to reflect, and to grow. It is a space where healing begins, where clarity emerges, and where the noise of the world fades away, leaving only what truly matters. So the next time you find yourself surrounded by noise, take a moment to step into the silence. Let it guide you, transform you, and remind you of the strength that lies within. For it is in the quiet moments, when the noise stops, that the most profound messages begin to speak. Time and space have an extraordinary ability to reshape our understanding of the world. When we step away from a situation, a relationship, or even our own thoughts, we create the opportunity to see things with a clarity that isn't accessible in the heat of the moment. Distance is not merely a separation, it is a powerful tool for reflection and growth. It allows us to strip away the emotions, assumptions, and biases that cloud our judgment, revealing the truth that often lies hidden beneath the surface. When we are too close to something, our perspective becomes limited. Think of it as standing inches away from a painting. At that proximity, the details blur, and we lose sight of the bigger picture. Every brushstroke seems chaotic, and it's impossible to appreciate the masterpiece as a whole. But when we take a few steps back, the colors blend harmoniously, the shapes come to life, and the purpose behind every stroke becomes clear. This is what distance offers us in life, the ability to step back and see the whole story, not just the fragmented pieces. Time works hand in hand with distance. In the moment, emotions often run high. Anger, sadness, or even excitement can cloud our ability to think rationally. But as time passes, those emotions begin to settle. What once felt overwhelming starts to fade, and we gain a more balanced perspective. It's like muddy water in a glass. If you keep stirring it, it remains murky. But if you let it sit, the sediment settles to the bottom, and the water becomes clear. Time allows our thoughts and feelings to settle, giving us the clarity we need to understand situations more fully. Distance also provides the space for self-reflection. When we remove ourselves from a situation, we are no longer consumed by the dynamics of the moment. Instead, we have the opportunity to examine our own role, our choices, and our reactions. This introspection is invaluable. It's in these moments of solitude that we often uncover truths about ourselves, truths that are difficult to see when we are entangled in the complexities of everyday life. We may realize that we were holding on to something out of fear, or that we were reacting from a place of insecurity rather than understanding. One of the greatest gifts of distance is its ability to reveal what truly matters. In the moment, it's easy to get caught up in trivialities or to assign importance to things that don't deserve it. But when we step away, we can more easily discern between what is essential and what is not. Distance has a way of highlighting what adds value to our lives and what drains it. It shows us where to invest our energy and where to let go. In particular, benefit from this perspective. Sometimes we hold on to people or situations out of habit, obligation, or fear of change, but when we create space, we can evaluate those relationships more objectively. We can ask ourselves whether they are truly serving us, whether they align with our values and goals, and whether they bring out the best in us. Distance often brings clarity, and with that clarity comes the courage to make choices that align with our highest good. Distance is not just about stepping away from others, it's also about stepping closer to ourselves. In the quiet moments that distance provides, we reconnect with who we are. We rediscover our values, our passions, and our dreams. We begin to see ourselves not as we think others perceive us, but as we truly are. This self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and empowerment. Distance and time are not just about letting go, they are about gaining perspective. They are about creating a space where the noise fades and the truth becomes audible. When we allow ourselves this space, we can see things as they truly are, not as they appeared in the chaos of the moment. And in that clarity, we find the wisdom and strength to move forward with purpose and intention. Growth often requires a step away from the familiar, a deliberate separation from the constant noise of interaction and routine. It is in this space, away from the distractions and demands of everyday connections, that clarity emerges. The absence of constant engagement isn't a void to fear, it's a fertile ground where transformation begins to take root. When we are surrounded by constant interaction, whether with people, situations, or even our own thoughts, it can feel as though we are caught in a whirlwind. There's little time to pause, reflect, or assess. The continual exchanges of energy and emotions can blur our judgment, leaving us reactive rather than intentional. But when separation occurs, whether by choice or circumstance, it creates the stillness needed for perspective to take shape. In this stillness, the mind quiets and the heart begins to speak truths that were previously drowned out by the noise. Separation offers us the gift of introspection. When we are removed from the constant pull of relationships or responsibilities, we can finally turn inward. This isn't about isolation or loneliness, it's about connection with oneself. In the space of separation, we begin to recognize patterns in our behavior and thoughts. We see clearly the habits that serve us and the ones that hinder our progress. This self-awareness becomes the foundation for meaningful growth. True growth is rarely visible in the moment. It unfolds gradually, like a seed buried in the soil. At first, it seems as though nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, in the darkness and solitude, the seed is transforming. It is breaking open, stretching its roots, and preparing to reach for the light. Similarly, in the absence of constant interaction, we too undergo a transformation that isn't always immediately apparent. The silence and separation allow us to gather strength, focus, and clarity, setting the stage for profound change. Separation also challenges us to confront the aspects of ourselves that we might otherwise avoid. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to project our struggles outward, blaming circumstances or relationships for our frustrations. But in the space of separation, there's no one else to distract us from ourselves. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also incredibly powerful. It forces us to face our fears, insecurities, and doubts. And in doing so, we learn to overcome them. We discover resilience we didn't know we had and a deeper understanding of who we are. One of the most profound realizations that comes from separation is the recognition of what truly matters. Without the constant input of others' opinions or the pressures of external expectations, we can evaluate our priorities with greater clarity. We begin to see which relationships, goals, and values align with our authentic selves and which ones we've been holding on to out of habit or obligation. This clarity is a compass, guiding us toward a life that is more intentional and fulfilling. In relationships, separation often provides the perspective needed to appreciate the connection fully. When we step away, we gain a better understanding of the dynamics at play. We see the strengths and weaknesses of the bond, and we have the opportunity to decide whether it nurtures our growth or holds us back. Sometimes separation leads to reconciliation and renewal, and other times it reveals the need to move on. Either way, it is an essential part of the process. Growth thrives in separation because it allows us to return to ourselves. It reminds us that we are whole, even when we are alone. It teaches us that our worth is not dependent on constant interaction or external validation. In the absence of others, we learn to nurture our own needs, pursue our own dreams, and build our own strength. Separation is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the space where clarity is born, where intentions are sharpened, and where growth becomes undeniable. In this space, we are not running away from life, we are preparing ourselves to engage with it more fully, more authentically, and with greater purpose. It is here, in the quiet and solitude, that we become the person we are meant to be. Actions often speak louder than words. And when your absence begins to leave its mark, the actions of others can reveal a profound truth: they miss you. It's in this space of separation, where your presence is no longer taken for granted, that regret often starts to take root. People begin to reflect on what they had, what they lost, and most importantly, the role you played in their lives. This shift is not immediate, but when it comes, it is unmistakable. In the day-to-day routine of life, it's easy for people to overlook what they have. Familiarity can dull appreciation, and the comfort of knowing someone will always be there can lead to complacency. But absence creates a void, and in that void, clarity emerges. The things once taken for granted become glaringly obvious in their absence. Your kindness, support, and presence, which were once background noise in the chaos of life, suddenly become front and center in their thoughts. Regret is not just a feeling, it's a catalyst for change. When someone begins to feel the weight of your absence, their behavior often shifts in ways that reveal their inner turmoil. They might start reaching out more frequently, trying to bridge the gap that has grown between you. These attempts to reconnect are often subtle at first: a casual message, an unexpected call, or an effort to be present in spaces where they know you might be. These actions, though seemingly small, are laden with meaning. They reflect an acknowledgement of your value and a desire to restore what was lost. Sometimes regret manifests in more profound ways. People might begin to change their behavior, striving to show that they've learned from past mistakes. They may take steps to address the issues that led to the separation, whether it's working on their communication skills, showing more gratitude, or making an effort to prioritize the relationship. These actions are often driven by an understanding that your absence has taught them something invaluable: your worth cannot be replaced, and losing you was not something they want to risk again. It's important to recognize that these actions are not always immediate. Regret often takes time to surface. Initially, people might deny the impact of your absence, convincing themselves that life goes on as usual. But over time, the reality sets in. They begin to notice the quiet spaces where your laughter once filled the room, the unanswered questions that only you could answer, and the comfort that only your presence could provide. This growing awareness can be a humbling experience, one that forces them to confront their own shortcomings and the ways they may have failed to appreciate you. Your absence also holds a mirror to their lives, forcing them to examine their priorities and values. They may start to question why they allowed the relationship to falter and whether they were truly present and engaged when they had the chance. These reflections can be painful, but they are also necessary for growth. Regret, in this context, becomes a teacher, guiding them toward greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. While it's natural to feel a sense of validation when someone's actions begin to reflect regret, it's important to approach these moments with clarity and discernment. Regret alone is not enough to rebuild a relationship or heal old wounds. Actions must be consistent, sincere, and aligned with genuine growth. It's not about accepting someone back into your life simply because they realize they've made a mistake. It's about evaluating whether their actions demonstrate a commitment to change and a renewed respect for what you bring to their life. Your worth is not determined by someone else's realization of it. The absence that highlights your value to others is a testament to the unique and irreplaceable qualities you bring to the table. Whether their regret leads to reconciliation or simply serves as a lesson for them, it is ultimately a reflection of your impact. Your presence left a mark, and your absence underscores its significance. When someone's actions begin to reflect regret, it serves as a reminder of the power of your presence and the strength of your absence. It's a testament to your value, a validation of the unique role you played, and a sign that your worth is undeniable even when you're not there to remind them. Whether you choose to let them back into your life or continue on your path, their regret becomes a moment of clarity for both them and you. It's in these moments that the true weight of your absence and the depth of your worth is fully realized. Inner peace is a force unlike any other. It doesn't shout or demand attention, yet it commands respect and admiration. When you cultivate a sense of calm and self-assurance within yourself, it changes everything, not just how you see the world, but how the world responds to you. Strength, rooted in peace, becomes a magnetic energy that draws people and opportunities to your door without effort or pursuit. This magnetism starts with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and being at ease with yourself. It is not about arrogance or superiority, it is about a deep connection to your inner truth. When you are at peace with yourself, you stop seeking external validation. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth to others or chase after recognition. Instead, you radiate a quiet strength that others can sense, even from a distance. Inner peace creates a natural allure because it is so rare in a world full of chaos and noise. Many people are consumed by their own insecurities, fears, and desires. They are constantly chasing something, whether it's approval, success, or love, and this restless energy can be exhausting to those around them. But when someone encounters a person who is grounded, composed, and secure in themselves, it is like finding an oasis in a desert. People are drawn to that serenity because it offers them a glimpse of what they too crave, a sense of wholeness and calm. This magnetism doesn't just attract people, it also opens doors to opportunities. When you are at peace with yourself, you make decisions from a place of clarity rather than desperation. You are not swayed by fear or the need to please others. Instead, you trust your intuition and follow the path that feels right for you. This alignment with your inner truth creates a ripple effect. The right opportunities seem to find you because your energy resonates with what you truly desire. You no longer have to chase success, it begins to flow to you naturally. Your interactions with others also change when you are centered in peace. People can sense when someone is genuinely present and not caught up in their own anxieties or agendas. This presence makes you a safe and comforting person to be around. Others feel heard and valued in your company because you are not projecting your own fears or insecurities onto them. This creates deeper and more meaningful connections, further enhancing your influence and the respect you garner. Inner peace is also a form of quiet rebellion against the pressures of the world. Society often equates success with constant hustle, loud ambition, and relentless pursuit. But true strength lies in the ability to step back, breathe, and trust the process. When you embody this strength, you become a living example of an alternative way of being, one that prioritizes balance, authenticity, and fulfillment over superficial achievement. This authenticity is magnetic because it is real, and people are naturally drawn to what is genuine. The journey to inner peace is not always easy. It requires self-reflection, patience, and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. It involves facing your fears, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, and embracing your imperfections. But as you do this inner work, you begin to notice a shift. The things that once seemed so important, chasing approval, comparing yourself to others, or proving your worth, start to lose their grip on you. In their place comes a quiet assurance that you are enough, just as you are. This shift doesn't go unnoticed by the world around you. People begin to treat you differently, not because you demand it, but because your energy commands it. When you carry yourself with calm confidence, others naturally respond with respect and admiration. They are drawn to your strength, not because you seek their attention, but because you don't need it. This independence is incredibly attractive, and it inspires others to find that same sense of peace within themselves. Inner peace is not about withdrawing from the world, it is about engaging with it on your own terms. It gives you the freedom to say no to what doesn't align with your values and to embrace what truly fulfills you. It allows you to move through life with grace, even in the face of challenges. And as you do so, you become a beacon for others, a source of light and inspiration that they can't help but be drawn to. Inner peace is the foundation for a magnetic life. It empowers you to live authentically, connect deeply, and attract what is meant for you without effort or chase. It is not something you find outside yourself, it is something you cultivate within. And once you do, the world around you begins to reflect the strength and serenity that you carry in your heart. The urge to act impulsively is deeply ingrained in human nature. When something feels uncertain or unresolved, the instinct is to bridge the gap, to reach out, to seek answers, or to assert control. However, this reaction often stems from fear or insecurity rather than strength. Acting in haste rarely leads to the outcomes we desire. Instead, it often complicates matters, pushing what we want further away or creating unnecessary tension. Patience, on the other hand, offers a different path, one of restraint, clarity, and purpose. Patience is not passive, it is a form of active discipline. It requires strength to sit with discomfort, to resist the pull of immediate action, and to trust that everything will unfold in its time. This strength comes from an inner assurance that you don't need to force anything to happen. When you hold back from reaching out in moments of uncertainty, you send a powerful message not just to others but to yourself. You affirm that you are in control of your emotions and choices, that you are not governed by fleeting impulses, and that you value the bigger picture over immediate gratification. When you practice patience, you create space for perspective. Impulsive actions are often short-sighted, driven by temporary emotions that cloud your judgment. In contrast, patience allows you to step back, assess the situation with clarity, and respond from a place of wisdom. It gives you the time to understand what truly matters and what doesn't, and it helps you prioritize your long-term well-being over momentary relief. This shift in perspective often leads to better decisions, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Resisting the urge to reach out also shifts the dynamic in your relationships. When you act impulsively, you risk coming across as needy or dependent, which can create an imbalance. However, when you demonstrate patience and restraint, you show that you respect yourself and the boundaries of others. This self-respect is magnetic. It commands attention and earns respect in return. People are drawn to those who exude calm confidence, those who don't chase but instead allow things to come to them naturally. Patience also cultivates resilience. Each time you resist the urge to act impulsively, you strengthen your ability to endure discomfort and uncertainty. This resilience is a powerful asset in all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. It equips you to handle challenges with grace, to navigate setbacks without losing your composure, and to remain focused on your goals even in the face of adversity. Over time, this resilience becomes a cornerstone of your strength, setting you apart as someone who can weather any storm with dignity and resolve. The power of patience lies not only in what it prevents but also in what it creates. By resisting impulsive actions, you create room for growth, understanding, and deeper connection. You allow others to come to their own realizations, to take responsibility for their actions, and to meet you halfway. You give situations the time they need to evolve naturally without interference or pressure. And in doing so, you often find that the outcomes are far more meaningful and enduring than anything you could have forced into being. Practicing patience also teaches you the value of timing. In life, timing is often everything. Acting too soon can disrupt the natural flow of events, while waiting for the right moment can lead to extraordinary results. Patience allows you to align with this flow, to trust that everything has its season, and to act when the time is right, not a moment sooner or later. This alignment with timing not only enhances your effectiveness, but also deepens your sense of peace and fulfillment. The power of patience lies in its quiet certainty. It is the confidence to know that you don't need to chase, force, or control, that everything meant for you will find its way to you in time. It is the discipline to hold your ground, to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, and to trust the process of life. When you embrace patience, you prove to yourself and to the world that true strength lies not in impulsive action but in the steady, unwavering resolve to wait for what is right. In the journey of silence, patience, and self-discovery, we uncover the profound power of stepping back to allow life to unfold on its own terms. Whether it's through the strength of silence, the clarity of perspective, the growth born in separation, or the magnetic energy of inner peace, each principle reinforces the truth that discipline and trust in oneself are the ultimate victories. Resisting the pull of impulsive action shows the world, and more importantly yourself, that you are grounded, resilient, and in control of your destiny. As you embody these truths, you create a life that is not only aligned with your highest self, but also a source of inspiration to others. Remember, everything meant for you will come in its time. Trust the process, honor your growth, and let your inner strength guide you forward. Thank you for listening, and may your path be filled with wisdom, clarity, and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly invested in yourself? I'm not talking about the fleeting moments when you got inspired after scrolling through a motivational quote. I'm talking about the commitment, the blood, sweat, and discipline that it takes to become the person you're meant to be. You see, growth doesn't happen by accident. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have it all together. It's the small, deliberate choices you make every day. Are you reading, learning, practicing, and refining your craft? Or are you waiting for the world to hand you something you haven't earned? Because let me tell you something, success isn't handed out like a flyer on the street. You've got to chase it down and demand it for yourself. The world loves to talk. It will try to tell you who you are, what you can do, and how far you can go. But hear me now, those voices don't define you. Their doubts aren't your limits. Their opinions aren't your reality. Every time you let their words seep into your soul, you're giving them control. Take back your power. Focus on your vision and block out the noise. Let's get one thing straight. Ambition without humility is a recipe for failure. Stay hungry for success. Yes, work like your life depends on it, because it does. But never think for a second that you're above learning, that you've arrived, or that you're done growing. The minute you stop being a student of life, you stop winning at it. Everything starts in your mind. What you believe about yourself will shape what you become. If you think small, you'll live small. If you let fear dominate your thoughts, you'll never break free. But if you focus on your strength, your capability, and your vision, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Remember this: what you feed your mind today will show up in your life tomorrow. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success, but that's not real. What's real is the grind, the quiet, unglamorous steps you take each day. Don't wait for perfection to pat yourself on the back. Celebrate the small victories, the extra mile you ran, the extra hour you studied, the mistake you learned from. Progress is the name of the game. Stop looking left and right. Stop measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself every morning, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? Then get to work and make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, focus on you every single day. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Not because anyone else is watching, but because the person in the mirror deserves the best you can give. And when you do, the world will feel the weight of your greatness. Stay focused, stay driven, and never stop believing in your power to rise. Every day, when you wake up and take that first breath of morning air, you're faced with a choice. It's a choice so subtle, so unassuming, that most people miss its power entirely. That choice is this: will today be just another day, or will it be a step toward becoming the best version of yourself? Growth doesn't happen by chance. It isn't something you stumble upon like a lucky coin on the sidewalk. No, greatness is built brick by brick with intention, purpose, and discipline. And the sooner you embrace this truth, the sooner your life will start to transform. Now let's get one thing straight: growth is uncomfortable. It challenges you. It pushes you to confront parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. But here's the secret: that discomfort is where the magic happens. You see, it's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to live the same routine day after day. It's safe there, predictable. But nothing grows in a space where nothing changes. If you want to evolve, you have to be willing to step into the unknown, to stretch beyond what you think you're capable of, and to embrace the process, even when it's messy. Every single day is an opportunity. Think about that for a moment. Not just the big moments, graduations, promotions, or major milestones, but every ordinary, seemingly insignificant day is a chance to invest in your better self. The question is, are you making the most of it? Or are you letting those opportunities slip away, lost to distractions, procrastination, or a lack of belief in your potential? It's time to start seeing your days for what they truly are: building blocks for your future. Each one holds the potential to bring you closer to the person you're meant to be. But let's not pretend it's easy. Growth demands effort. It requires you to show up, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. It's about committing to the small, consistent actions that lead to big results over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't plant the seed today and expect it to bear fruit tomorrow. You water it, nurture it, and give it sunlight, trusting that one day it will grow into something magnificent. Your growth works the same way. The reading you do, the skills you practice, the goals you set, they may not show immediate results, but over time, they compound into something extraordinary. And let's talk about purpose. Without it, growth becomes aimless, like running on a treadmill without a destination. Purpose gives your actions meaning. It's the why behind what you do, the driving force that keeps you moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Take a moment to reflect. What's your purpose? What are you working toward? When you have a clear vision of the person you want to become, every decision you make starts to align with that vision. Purpose turns ordinary days into stepping stones towards something greater. But here's the catch: discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's not enough to want growth, you have to be willing to work for it. And discipline isn't about motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. It's waking up early to exercise when you'd rather sleep in. It's choosing to study when your friends are out having fun. It's saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your goals. Discipline is what separates those who dream about success from those who achieve it. Let's be honest, there will be days when you feel like giving up. Days when the progress seems slow and the setbacks feel overwhelming. But here's what you need to remember: growth isn't linear. It's not a straight path. There will be ups and downs, victories and failures. The key is to keep going, to keep showing up, even when it feels hard. Because every step you take, no matter how small, is a step forward. And every time you push through the challenges, you're building resilience, strength, and character. One of the greatest misconceptions about growth is that it's all about reaching the finish line. But the truth is, the journey itself is where the real transformation happens. It's in the daily grind, the quiet moments of effort, and the sacrifices you make along the way that you discover who you truly are. Growth isn't about becoming someone else, it's about uncovering the greatness that's already within you and bringing it to the surface. So how do you start? By making a decision. Decide that today will not be wasted. Decide that your time is too valuable to spend on things that don't serve your growth. Start small. Read a chapter of a book. Take a class. Learn a new skill. Set a goal and break it down into manageable steps. And most importantly, commit to the process. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your willingness to grow into the person who can achieve it. You are a work in progress, and that's a beautiful thing. Embrace the process, be patient with yourself, and never stop striving to be better. Because every day you choose growth, you're not just building a better life, you're building a better you. And that, my friend, is the foundation of true greatness. Every person on this planet is surrounded by noise. It's not always the kind you hear with your ears. Sometimes it's the kind that seeps into your mind, whispers doubts, and clouds your focus. This noise can come from anywhere: opinions from others, the constant hum of social media, the pressure to conform, or the expectations placed on you by society. It's relentless, isn't it? But here's the truth: if you don't learn to silence the noise, it will drown out the voice that matters most, yours. Let's begin with distractions. In this modern world, they're everywhere. They blink, they buzz, and they pull you away from what truly matters. Whether it's your phone lighting up with notifications or the allure of mindless scrolling, these distractions rob you of your time, your energy, and your focus. Every time you give in, you're allowing something outside of you to dictate how you spend your day. And days add up to weeks, months, and years. How many of those years are you willing to sacrifice to distractions? Time is the one resource you can never get back, and every second you spend on something unimportant is a second stolen from your dreams. But distractions aren't the only kind of noise. Opinions are just as powerful, if not more so. Think about how often you let someone else's words affect you. Maybe they told you your goal was unrealistic, or your idea wasn't good enough. Maybe they laughed at your ambition or questioned your choices. And maybe, just maybe, you started to believe them. But here's the thing: their opinions are not your truth. What someone else thinks about your life says more about them than it does about you. Yet too often, we internalize these opinions, letting them shape our decisions and our self-worth. Why? Because we fear rejection, judgment, or standing out. But greatness doesn't come from fitting in, it comes from having the courage to follow your own path, even when it's unpopular. Your life is not a public debate. It's not up for a vote. It's not something that needs to be approved or validated by others. Your life is yours, your responsibility, your journey, your masterpiece. When you allow others to dictate your choices, you give away your power. You hand over the steering wheel of your life to someone who isn't even driving in the same direction. Stop seeking permission to chase your dreams. Stop waiting for the world to clap for you before you start moving. Silence the noise of their opinions and take back control. Silencing the noise doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world. It means being selective about what you let in. You have the power to choose who and what influences you. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, and who believe in your potential. These voices will fuel your journey, not hinder it. At the same time, learn to identify the voices that drain you, those who criticize without offering solutions, who project their fears onto you, or who belittle your dreams because they've given up on their own. These voices have no place in your life. Now, let's talk about the internal noise, the doubts and fears that creep in when no one else is around. This noise can be the hardest to silence because it comes from within. It tells you you're not good enough, that you're not ready, or that you'll fail. But here's what you need to understand: those doubts are not the truth. They are a reflection of your fears, not your reality. Every time you hear that voice in your head telling you to stop, to give up, or to play it safe, challenge it. Replace it with a voice that believes in you. Speak affirmations over yourself. Remind yourself of your strengths, and focus on the progress you've already made. The voice you feed is the one that will grow stronger, so choose wisely. The path to your goals will never be completely quiet. There will always be noise, external and internal. The key is learning how to navigate it without losing your focus. One way to do this is to create space for stillness in your life. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in silence, these moments allow you to reconnect with your vision and hear your own thoughts clearly. In stillness, you'll find the clarity to distinguish between what's important and what's just noise. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the choices you make in pursuit of your goals. You don't need to justify your dreams or defend your ambition. Those who truly support you will understand, and those who don't were never meant to be part of your journey. Stand firm in your decisions and let your actions speak louder than their words. The best way to silence the noise is to succeed in spite of it. As you move forward, remind yourself daily that your life is yours to live. Focus on your vision, your purpose, and your progress. The world will always have something to say, but you don't have to listen. Choose to listen to the voice within you, the one that knows your potential, sees your greatness, and believes in your ability to achieve it. When you do, the noise will fade into the background, and all that will remain is the sound of your footsteps, steady and strong, moving closer to your dreams. Success is a journey that demands more than talent, luck, or ambition. It calls for a unique blend of hunger and humility, a relentless drive to achieve, combined with the grounded understanding that no one is above the process. Success doesn't come to those who sit back and wait for it. It doesn't favor the entitled or the complacent. Instead, it seeks out those who are willing to work, sacrifice, and stay true to themselves, no matter how high they climb. Hunger is the fire that fuels your journey. It's the deep, insatiable desire to grow, achieve, and become more than you were yesterday. Hunger is what gets you out of bed before the sun rises. It's what keeps you going when the odds are stacked against you. But hunger isn't just about wanting success, it's about wanting it badly enough to put in the work. It's about showing up every day with passion and purpose, even when no one is watching. Hunger means doing the hard things, the things most people shy away from, because you know they're necessary to get where you want to go. This kind of hunger isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate. It starts with a vision, a clear picture of what you want your life to look like. That vision becomes the driving force behind everything you do. It gives you a reason to push through the discomfort, to keep going when others quit. But hunger alone isn't enough. If it's not balanced by humility, it can lead to arrogance, entitlement, and ultimately failure. Is what keeps you grounded. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're capable, but also from understanding that you're never above learning, growing, or improving. Humility reminds you that success is not a solo effort. It's built on the shoulders of those who came before you, supported by the people around you, and shaped by the lessons you learn along the way. Humility is what keeps you open to feedback, willing to adapt, and ready to acknowledge your mistakes. It's the mindset that says, I've come far, but I still have so much more to learn. When you stay hungry, you're always reaching for the next level. But when you stay humble, you never lose sight of the journey that got you there. Success isn't a destination, it's a process. It's a series of moments, achievements, and lessons that shape you over time. If you forget that, if you start to believe you've made it, or that you're better than others because of your accomplishments, you risk losing everything you've worked so hard to build. Success can be fleeting for those who let their ego take the wheel. The world is full of people who start strong but falter along the way. They lose their hunger or let their success inflate their sense of self-importance. But true greatness lies in the ability to keep going, to stay committed, and to never let success change who you are at your core. Staying hungry and staying humble is not just about achieving your goals, it's about sustaining your success and continuing to grow long after you've reached them. Hunger and humility work hand in hand. Hunger drives you to aim higher, while humility keeps you grounded enough to understand that you're never done learning. It's this balance that allows you to navigate the challenges and triumphs of life with grace and resilience. When you're hungry, you don't settle for mediocrity. You demand excellence from yourself and those around you. But when you're humble, you remain approachable, teachable, and connected to the people and experiences that matter most. Success, at its core, is not just about personal achievement. It's about impact. It's about how your hard work, perseverance, and attitude inspire others to strive for their own greatness. When you stay hungry, you set an example of what's possible through dedication and effort. When you stay humble, you remind others that success is a journey, not a pedestal. You show them that it's not about being better than anyone else, it's about being better than you were yesterday. Every step of the way, there will be moments that test your hunger and your humility. There will be days when the fire in your belly feels like a flicker instead of a blaze. On those days, remind yourself of why you started. Revisit your vision, reconnect with your purpose, and reignite that hunger within you. And when success comes knocking, as it inevitably will if you stay the course, remember to celebrate without losing sight of the values that got you there. No one achieves greatness by accident. It takes intentional effort, unshakable focus, and a willingness to put in the work day after day. But it also takes the humility to understand that success is not an entitlement, it's a privilege. It's earned through sacrifice, perseverance, and a commitment to growth. And it's maintained by staying true to yourself no matter how far you climb. So, stay hungry. Keep that fire alive. Let it push you to dream bigger, work harder, and never settle for less than your best. But also, stay humble. Let humility be the foundation on which your success is built. Because the moment you think you've arrived is the moment you stop growing. And growth, after all, is the essence of true success. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It shapes your perceptions, directs your actions, and ultimately determines your reality. Yet so many people underestimate its influence or fail to harness its true potential. The truth is, if you want to achieve greatness, you must first master your mindset. Your mind isn't just a passive observer of your circumstances, it's the architect of your life. It can be your greatest ally or your toughest adversary, depending on how you train it. Mastering your mindset begins with belief in yourself and in your potential. Without this foundation, you will falter at the first sign of difficulty. But belief is not something that magically appears, it is cultivated through intention and practice. You must train your mind to see possibilities where others see obstacles. You must convince yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals, even when evidence is scarce. It's not about blind optimism, it's about choosing to focus on what you can do rather than what you can't. Your mindset determines how you interpret the events of your life. When challenges arise, you have a choice to see them as insurmountable barriers or as opportunities for growth. The world doesn't change based on your perception, but your ability to navigate it does. A mind trained to find solutions instead of dwelling on problems is a mind that will always move forward. Train yourself to ask the right questions. What can I learn from this? How can I turn this situation to my advantage? These questions shift your focus from limitations to possibilities. Focus is another critical aspect of mastering your mindset. The world is full of distractions, things vying for your attention and pulling you away from your vision. If you're not intentional about what you focus on, your mind will wander and your goals will slip further from your grasp. Training your mind to focus means learning to say no to what doesn't serve you. It means cutting out the noise, avoiding distractions, and committing fully to the tasks that align with your vision. Focus is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger with consistent practice. But focus isn't just about where you direct your attention, it's also about how you maintain it in the face of negativity. Negativity is like a weed that can take root in your mind if you're not vigilant. It can come from external sources, criticism, doubt, fear, or from within, in the form of self-doubt and limiting beliefs. To master your mindset, you must reject negativity in all its forms. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to let negativity dictate your actions or your sense of self-worth. Negativity often finds its way into your mind through repetition. The more you hear something, whether it's a disparaging comment from someone else or a self-critical thought in your own mind, the more likely you are to believe it. The antidote to this is to actively replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Affirmations, visualization, and gratitude are powerful tools for this. Speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Visualize yourself achieving your goals. Take time each day to acknowledge the things you're grateful for. These practices shift your focus away from what's wrong and towards what's possible. Another key to mastering your mindset is self-awareness. You can't change what you're not aware of. Take the time to understand your thought patterns. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself and the beliefs you hold about what's possible. Are these beliefs serving you, or are they holding you back? Challenge the thoughts that limit you. Ask yourself, is this true? Or is it just a story I've been telling myself? The more you question your limiting beliefs, the more power you have to rewrite them. Mastering your mindset also requires discipline. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without effort. You must commit to the process of growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. It's what allows you to push past fear, doubt, and resistance. Train your mind to associate discipline with empowerment, not restriction. Every small step you take towards building a stronger mindset is a step closer to becoming the person you want to be. Mastering your mindset is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress. There will be days when negativity creeps in, when focus wavers, or when self-doubt whispers in your ear. On those days, remind yourself that mastering your mindset is a lifelong journey. It's not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. Give yourself grace, but also hold yourself accountable. Growth happens in the moments when you choose to persevere, even when it's difficult. Your mind is your greatest asset, but it is also your responsibility. No one else can train it for you. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the focus you maintain are entirely within your control. By mastering your mindset, you take ownership of your life. You become the driver of your destiny, not a passenger carried along by circumstance. So train your mind to believe in your potential, to focus on your vision, and to reject negativity. When you do, you'll unlock a power within you that is unstoppable. Transformation is not an instant event, but a continuous journey. We often fall into the trap of believing that success requires perfection, that every step must be flawless and every effort impeccable. This mindset not only sets us up for disappointment, but also blinds us to the power of incremental progress. True growth lies in celebrating the small wins, the steady, consistent actions that compound over time into extraordinary achievements. Progress, not perfection, is the secret to long-lasting success. Life is rarely linear, and neither is personal development. It's easy to become disheartened when progress feels slow or when setbacks occur. But transformation is not about giant leaps. It's about the small, deliberate steps you take every single day. These steps may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they create a ripple effect that can completely change the trajectory of your life. Small wins build momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward, even when the road gets tough. The pressure to be perfect can be paralyzing. It often leads to procrastination, self-doubt, and ultimately inaction. When you believe that anything less than perfection isn't worth celebrating, you rob yourself of the motivation and joy that come from acknowledging your efforts. Progress, on the other hand, shifts your focus. It reminds you that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. It teaches you to value the process as much as the outcome, to recognize that growth is happening even when it feels slow or uneven. Small wins are powerful because they reinforce positive behavior. Every time you accomplish a task, no matter how minor, you send a message to your mind that you're capable. This builds confidence and encourages you to take the next step. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, celebrating something as simple as drinking more water, taking a short walk, or choosing a healthier meal reinforces the habit of prioritizing your well-being. Over time, these small actions accumulate, creating a foundation for bigger, more significant changes. Transformation is often compared to planting a seed. You don't see results immediately, you don't expect a tree to grow overnight. But with consistent care, water, sunlight, and patience, that seed grows roots, sprouts, and eventually blossoms. The same is true for your goals. Each small win is like watering that seed. It may not seem like much at first, but it's essential for long-term growth. Without those consistent efforts, the seed would wither before it has a chance to thrive. It's important to remember that progress isn't always visible. Some of the most significant growth happens beneath the surface, in the unseen moments when you're laying the groundwork for future success. Just because you can't see immediate results doesn't mean your efforts are wasted. Trust in the process and give yourself credit for showing up, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Progress is often about persistence, about continuing to move forward even when the finish line feels far away. Celebrating small wins also cultivates gratitude, which is a powerful motivator. When you take the time to acknowledge what you've accomplished, you shift your focus from what's lacking to what's working. This positive reinforcement fuels your journey and makes the process more enjoyable. Gratitude keeps you grounded and reminds you that every effort, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. It transforms your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, allowing you to appreciate the progress you've made rather than fixating on how far you still have to go. Perfection, on the other hand, is a myth that often leads to burnout. When you set unrealistic standards for yourself, you create a cycle of frustration and disappointment. Perfectionism stifles creativity, discourages risk-taking, and makes you overly critical of your efforts. It shifts the focus away from growth and toward judgment. Progress, however, is forgiving. It allows room for mistakes, learning, and improvement. It acknowledges that setbacks are a natural part of the journey, and that every misstep is an opportunity to grow stronger. To celebrate progress, start by setting achievable milestones. Break your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. Each time you accomplish one of these steps, take a moment to acknowledge it. Celebrate in a way that feels meaningful to you. Whether it's writing down your accomplishment, sharing it with someone you trust, or simply taking a moment to reflect on how far you've come. These celebrations don't have to be grand. Their purpose is to remind you that you're moving forward and that your efforts matter. Another way to celebrate progress is to track it. Keep a journal, create a checklist, or use an app to document your achievements. Seeing your progress visually can be incredibly motivating, especially on days when you feel like you're not making any. Tracking your progress also helps you identify patterns and areas for improvement, giving you valuable insights into what's working and what needs adjustment. Progress is deeply personal. It's not about comparing your journey to someone else's or measuring your success against external standards. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday, about consistently showing up and putting in the work. Celebrate your progress in a way that honors your unique path and acknowledges the effort you've invested. Transformation is a marathon, not a sprint. It's built on a series of small, consistent actions that add up over time. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, you free yourself from the pressure to get everything right and instead embrace the joy of growth. Each small win brings you closer to your goals, and each step forward is a testament to your resilience and determination. Celebrate those steps, because they are the foundation of your success. In life, the most important competition is not with others, but with yourself. Society often teaches us to compare our achievements to those around us, creating a constant pressure to measure up to external standards. However, this mindset is both exhausting and counterproductive. True growth and fulfillment come from competing with who you were yesterday, striving to be better, stronger, and wiser with each passing day. This shift in perspective allows you to focus on your own journey, unburdened by the noise of comparison and the weight of others' expectations. When you measure your growth against someone else's journey, you're playing a losing game. Everyone's path is different, shaped by unique experiences, circumstances, and challenges. Comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 will only lead to frustration and self-doubt. It's like trying to run a race on a track that doesn't align with your starting point or destination. Instead, the real question should be, how far have you come from where you started? Are you a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday? Competing with yourself means setting your own benchmarks for success. It's about identifying your personal goals, dreams, and values, and using them as the yardstick for your progress. This approach is liberating because it removes the need to conform to societal norms or external expectations. You define what success looks like for you, and you work toward it on your own terms. This kind of self-directed competition fosters authenticity, allowing you to focus on what truly matters to you rather than chasing someone else's idea of achievement. One of the most empowering aspects of being your own biggest competitor is that it shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When you compete with others, you're often operating from a place of lack, feeling as though there's only so much success, happiness, or recognition to go around. But when you compete with yourself, you realize that your growth is limitless. There's no cap on how much you can learn, improve, or achieve. Your only constraint is the effort you're willing to invest in becoming the best version of yourself. This mindset also helps you build resilience. Life is full of setbacks, but when you're focused on your own progress, those setbacks become opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. Competing with yourself means learning to embrace failure as a natural part of the journey. Each stumble is a chance to learn, to refine your approach, and to come back stronger. This perspective makes you more adaptable and better equipped to handle the challenges that life inevitably throws your way. To compete with yourself effectively, you need to develop self-awareness. This involves taking an honest look at where you are, where you want to go, and what you need to do to bridge the gap. Self-awareness allows you to identify your strengths and weaknesses, to celebrate your achievements, and to acknowledge the areas where you still have room to grow. It's not about being overly critical of yourself, but about recognizing that there's always room for improvement and that the journey towards self-mastery is never-ending. Setting clear, measurable goals is another crucial aspect of being your own biggest competitor. These goals should be specific to you, reflecting your unique aspirations and priorities. Break them down into smaller, actionable steps that you can work on daily. Celebrate each milestone you reach, no matter how small, because each one represents a step forward on your journey. This process of setting and achieving personal goals keeps you motivated and focused, giving you a sense of purpose and direction. It's also important to track your progress. Keep a journal, create a vision board, or use an app to document your journey. Regularly review what you've accomplished and identify areas where you can improve. This practice not only keeps you accountable, but also provides tangible evidence of your growth, which can be incredibly motivating on days when you feel stuck or discouraged. Another key to competing with yourself is practicing self-compassion. Growth isn't always a linear process. There will be days when you fall short of your own expectations. When this happens, it's important to be kind to yourself. Acknowledge your effort, learn from your mistakes, and commit to doing better tomorrow. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. By treating yourself with compassion, you create an environment where you feel safe to take risks, to fail, and to keep pushing forward. Being your own biggest competitor also requires a strong focus on personal development. Invest in yourself by reading, learning new skills, and seeking out experiences that challenge and inspire you. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, who encourage you to be your best self. Take care of your physical and mental health, because your well-being is the foundation of everything else. The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll have to give to the world around you. That competing with yourself is a lifelong commitment. There's no finish line, no point where you can say, I've arrived. Growth is an ongoing process, and there's always more to learn, more to achieve, and more ways to become a better version of yourself. This journey is what makes life meaningful and fulfilling. By focusing on your own progress and embracing the process, you'll not only achieve your goals, but also discover a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction. So let go of the need to measure up to others. Stop comparing your journey to anyone else's and start focusing on what truly matters: your growth, your dreams, and your potential. Compete with who you were yesterday, not with the world around you. When you do this, you'll unlock a level of fulfillment and success that no external validation can ever provide. Your greatest competition is staring back at you in the mirror, and every day is an opportunity to rise to the challenge and become a little better than you were before. In the journey of life, the greatest battle we face is not with the world around us, but with ourselves. Growth, progress, and true success come from within, from our daily commitment to becoming better than we were yesterday. When we focus on our own journey, silence distractions, celebrate our progress, and build resilience through self-awareness and discipline, we step into our true power. We learn that the path to greatness is not about perfection, but about persistence. Your growth isn't measured by someone else's achievements, it's measured by your own. Compete with yourself, celebrate your victories, and embrace every stumble as a stepping stone. Success is not a final destination, but an evolving process of becoming the best version of yourself. Stay hungry, stay humble, and above all, stay focused on you every single day. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your commitment to investing in your own greatness. May you continue to rise and thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a truth. When someone walks back into your life, it's not just a moment, it's a test. And how you respond, how you carry yourself, will determine the respect you gain or lose in that moment. When he contacts you, whether it's a text, a call, or an unexpected "hey," then thinking about you, don't rush to respond. Don't jump at the sound of his name like you've been waiting by the phone. Instead, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what does this moment mean for me? The biggest mistake you can make is letting your emotions take the wheel. If you react impulsively, you risk giving away your power. And let me tell you, the moment you give someone your power, they will take it every single time. You see, there's a version of you he remembers, a version that might have settled, that might have been too available. But this version of you, this new you, she knows her worth. And worth doesn't chase, it attracts. Worth doesn't explain, it shows. Now let's talk about silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When he reaches out, resist the urge to over-explain yourself, your choices, or your feelings. Trust me, if he's reaching out, he already knows what he lost. You don't need to remind him. But here's the real heart of it. When someone who left your life tries to come back, they're not just checking on you, they're checking the boundaries you've set. Don't make the mistake of lowering those boundaries because of nostalgia or loneliness. Let your standards speak for you. You've worked too hard to heal, to grow, to become the person you are today. So don't let a single message or phone call undo the progress you've made. If he's coming back, he needs to meet you at the level you've risen to, not drag you back to the level you left behind. Confidence is your best ally. When he contacts you, don't chase, don't beg, and don't settle. Walk with the strength of someone who knows they are enough, because you are. Let him see that if he wants to stay in your life, it's going to take more than just words. So I leave you with this: protect your peace. Guard your heart. And when someone reaches out, don't make the mistake of forgetting the power you hold. Because in the end, how you respond says more about you than it ever will about him. When life presents you with unexpected situations, especially moments charged with emotional weight, your initial reaction sets the tone for everything that follows. Whether it's a call from someone who once hurt you, a chance encounter with a figure from your past, or even a difficult conversation with a loved one, the way you respond in that first moment is critical. It's not just about what you say or do, it's about the energy you bring into that interaction. And that's where staying grounded becomes essential. You see, emotions are powerful. They are the raw, unfiltered language of the heart, and they can elevate us to incredible heights or drag us down into chaos. When faced with a situation that stirs those emotions, especially when it's tied to someone who has a hold on your heart, it's easy to let those feelings dictate your actions. But here's the truth: reacting impulsively, out of anger, sadness, or even excitement, can lead to decisions you may regret later. Think of your emotions as a river. When they're flowing peacefully, they nourish and inspire. But when the current becomes too strong, it can sweep you away. Staying grounded is like anchoring yourself on solid ground, ensuring that no matter how wild the river gets, you remain steady and in control. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, it means understanding them, acknowledging them, and choosing not to let them run the show. Imagine this scenario: someone who once left you or wronged you suddenly reappears in your life. Your heart races, your mind floods with memories, and before you know it, you're on the verge of reacting, sending a long message, making a hasty phone call, or expressing emotions that haven't been fully processed. But ask yourself, what's the purpose of that reaction? Is it to prove something? To seek closure? To let them know how much they hurt you? In most cases, those impulsive responses aren't about resolution, they're about trying to regain control of a situation that once left you feeling powerless. The key is to pause. In that moment of emotional intensity, take a breath literally. Give yourself the space to process what you're feeling. When you pause, you create an opportunity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This pause is where your power lies. It's where you remind yourself that you are no longer the person who needs validation or explanation to feel whole. Staying grounded also means being present. Instead of letting your mind spiral into what-ifs or past pain, bring your focus to the here and now. Ask yourself, what do I truly want in this moment? And what outcome aligns with the person I've become? When you're grounded, you're able to see the situation for what it is, not through the lens of old wounds or unresolved emotions. One of the most empowering things you can do is separate your feelings from your actions. It's okay to feel hurt, betrayed, or even hopeful when someone contacts you. Those feelings are valid and deserve acknowledgement. But your actions, the words you choose, the tone you use, and the boundaries you set should come from a place of self-respect and clarity. When you act from this place, you're not just reacting to the situation, you're asserting the person you've worked so hard to become. The first reaction is often the most remembered. It's the one that leaves an impression, the one that defines how others perceive you in that moment. If you allow yourself to be swept away by emotion, you risk giving away your power. But if you respond with grace, calmness, and intention, you show the world and yourself that you are in control. Control doesn't mean being cold or unfeeling, it means choosing strength over chaos. It means recognizing that you don't have to meet every situation with the intensity it brings. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to remain calm in the face of the storm. That calmness is not a sign of indifference. It's a testament to your inner strength and self-assurance. Staying grounded in emotional moments is about honoring yourself. It's about protecting your peace and maintaining the dignity you've worked so hard to cultivate. So the next time you're faced with a situation that tugs at your emotions, remember this: you have the power to define the course, and that power begins with staying grounded. There is a quiet power in restraint, a strength in holding back when the world urges you to explain, justify, or prove yourself. Too often, we feel compelled to fill silences with words, to provide explanations for our choices, our boundaries, and even our presence. But here's the truth: your worth does not hinge on someone else's understanding of you. It is inherent, immutable, and does not need validation from anyone outside of yourself. When someone reaches out, whether it's an old friend, a past love, or even a colleague who once doubted you, there is a temptation to explain everything. You may feel the urge to recount your growth, justify the decisions that led you to where you are, or even defend why you no longer fit into the version of yourself they once knew. But stop for a moment and ask yourself, why do I feel the need to explain? Most of the time, that urge stems from a desire to be understood, to prove our worth, or to seek validation for the choices we've made. Here's the thing: true dignity doesn't demand explanations. Dignity is quiet, it's self-assured. It's knowing that your value remains constant, regardless of whether or not others see it. When you over-explain, you inadvertently place your worth in the hands of others, asking them to approve or acknowledge what should never be up for debate. Silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes. It communicates confidence, self-respect, and a refusal to engage in unnecessary justifications. When someone questions you, your choices, your boundaries, or even your absence, your silence can carry a weight that no words ever could. It tells them, without a single syllable, that you owe them nothing, that you stand firm in who you are without needing to prove it. Think of silence as a mirror. When you refuse to over-explain, you hold up a reflection for others to face. It forces them to sit with their own questions, their own assumptions, and their own role in the situation. Sometimes people reach out not because they genuinely seek understanding, but because they're uncomfortable with the distance or the boundaries you've set. By staying silent, you place the responsibility for that discomfort squarely where it belongs on them. This doesn't mean you should never communicate. There is a time and place for conversations, for expressing your feelings, and for clarifying misunderstandings. But communication is not the same as over-explaining. Over-explaining often stems from a place of insecurity, a belief that if you don't justify yourself, others will misjudge or misunderstand you. But here's the reality: no amount of explanation can change how someone chooses to perceive you. And those who truly respect you won't require an explanation in the first place. When you embrace the power of silence, you reclaim your energy. You conserve the emotional and mental resources that might otherwise be spent trying to craft the perfect defense or narrative. Instead, you redirect that energy inward, using it to strengthen your sense of self-worth and peace. This is not about being cold or dismissive. It's about prioritizing your own well-being and refusing to engage in dynamics that diminish you. Let's not forget the element of mystery. When you choose not to over-explain, you create space for others to wonder, to reflect, and to recognize your growth on their own. That space is powerful. It challenges people to see you as you are now, rather than trying to fit you into the mold of who you used to be. And in that space, you give yourself the freedom to continue evolving without being tethered to others' expectations. Dignity is about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It's about recognizing that your worth is not a debate, a negotiation, or a question that needs an answer. When you let your silence carry the weight of your dignity, you stand in a quiet, unshakable power. You remind the world and yourself that you are enough, just as you are, and that is more than sufficient. In every interaction, you are given an opportunity to define who you are and what you stand for. When someone reaches out to you, especially if it's someone whose past actions may have tested your boundaries, you must approach the moment with clarity and resolve. This is your chance to articulate, perhaps without words, the standards you hold for yourself and the relationships you allow in your life. Clarity is power. When you know what you stand for, you move through the world with a sense of purpose and self-assurance. Your standards reflect your values, your self-respect, and the lessons you've learned along the way. They are not arbitrary rules or unrealistic expectations. They are the foundation of a life lived with integrity. And yet, in moments of vulnerability or nostalgia, it can be tempting to compromise those standards for the sake of connection, understanding, or even closure. But compromising on what you believe in comes at a cost, one that often leaves you feeling diminished or disrespected. To be clear about your standards, you must first be deeply in tune with yourself. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are your non-negotiables in relationships? What behaviors are unacceptable, no matter the circumstances? What do you deserve and what will you never tolerate again? Answering these questions honestly will provide you with the framework for setting boundaries that are firm yet fair. When someone contacts you, especially someone from your past, they are stepping into a new version of you. They may approach you with expectations rooted in who you used to be, not realizing that you've grown and evolved. This is your moment to show them that you are no longer willing to bend to meet old dynamics. You're not the same person they once knew, and your standards now reflect the strength and self-awareness you've cultivated. Being clear about your standards doesn't require you to explain them in detail. In fact, your actions often speak louder than any explanation ever could. How you respond or choose not to respond sets the tone. For instance, if someone tries to re-enter your life but offers only vague apologies or half-hearted efforts, your response can communicate volumes. By holding firm to your boundaries, you show that you value sincerity, effort, and mutual respect. There may be moments when standing by your standards feels difficult. Perhaps the other person tries to appeal to your emotions or uses charm to bypass the boundaries you've set. In these moments, it's crucial to remind yourself of why those standards exist in the first place. They are there to protect your peace, your dignity, and your well-being. Lowering them for temporary comfort or out of fear of losing someone will only lead to regret. It's important to recognize that being clear about your standards is not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about having a strong sense of self-worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Clarity doesn't mean shutting people out, it means inviting only those who align with your values into your life. It's about creating a space where respect, honesty, and growth can thrive. When you uphold your standards, you send a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. You affirm that you are worthy of love and respect, and you set the expectation for how others should treat you. You also teach others how to approach you, not by demanding their compliance, but by demonstrating through your actions that you are serious about your boundaries. Your standards are a reflection of your self-love. They are not a wall to keep people out, but a guide for bringing the right people in. By being clear about what you stand for, you ensure that every interaction, every relationship, and every decision you make is aligned with the person you've worked so hard to become. Don't compromise. Stand firm in your truth and watch as the world begins to respect and reflect the strength within you. Growth is a deliberate choice, one that often comes with discomfort and the temptation to retreat into familiar patterns. Old habits, even those that once hurt you or held you back, can feel deceptively safe because they're known, predictable, and easy to slip into. But true growth demands more. It requires you to resist the gravitational pull of your past and step boldly into a new version of yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar or challenging. When someone contacts you, especially someone tied to a part of your life you've worked hard to move beyond, the opportunity to fall back into old patterns is at its peak. Perhaps it's the way they talk, the memories they evoke, or the emotional attachment you still feel. These triggers can be powerful, drawing you toward behaviors you thought you'd outgrown. But growth is not just about leaving the past behind, it's about proving to yourself time and time again that you are capable of more, that you deserve better, and that you are no longer defined by who you used to be. It's important to recognize the allure of old patterns for what it is: a desire for comfort and familiarity. Humans are creatures of habit, and our minds often default to what feels safe, even if that safety is an illusion. But just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's right for you. Growth happens when you step outside that comfort zone and choose a path that aligns with the person you're becoming, not the person you were. One of the first steps in avoiding old patterns is awareness. Pay attention to your triggers, the words, actions, or situations that make you want to revert to old habits. Once you identify these triggers, you can approach them with intention rather than reaction. For instance, if someone's words stir up feelings of self-doubt, pause before responding. Remind yourself of the strength you've built and the lessons you've learned. By recognizing the pull of old patterns, you gain the power to resist them. Another key aspect is setting boundaries, not just with others, but with yourself. Boundaries are a declaration of what you will and will not tolerate, and they serve as a shield against behaviors or relationships that no longer serve you. When you feel the urge to fall back into an old dynamic, remind yourself of the boundaries you've established. Ask yourself, does this align with the life I'm building? If the answer is no, hold the line, even when it's hard. Growth also requires a willingness to sit with discomfort. Choosing better often feels unfamiliar and awkward at first, because it challenges the deeply ingrained habits of the past. For example, saying no when you're used to saying yes can feel uncomfortable. Standing firm in your boundaries when someone pushes against them can feel isolating. But these moments of discomfort are where real growth happens. They are proof that you're breaking free from the patterns that once held you back. It's equally important to replace old patterns with new, healthier ones. Growth isn't just about saying no to the past, it's about saying yes to a better future. Create habits that reflect the life you want to live and the person you want to be. Whether it's practicing self-care, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, or pursuing goals that align with your values, these new patterns will gradually become your default. That growth is a process, not a destination. You may stumble along the way, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward, learning from each step, and refusing to let setbacks define you. Every time you resist the pull of old patterns, you reinforce your strength and commitment to a better version of yourself. Growth is about choosing yourself. It's about honoring the work you've done, the lessons you've learned, and the potential you hold. Don't let the comfort of old patterns rob you of the life you're capable of creating. You are no longer the person who settled for less, who accepted mistreatment, or who doubted their own worth. Embrace the discomfort of growth, and trust that the new patterns you're building will lead you to a life far greater than anything the past could ever offer. Confidence is a quiet strength, a steady force that speaks volumes without the need for excessive words or actions. It doesn't beg for attention or validation, it simply is. When someone contacts you, especially in moments where emotions might run high or stakes feel significant, staying confident and composed is your most powerful response. It shows that you know your worth, value your peace, and refuse to be swayed by external pressures or uncertainties. Confidence is not about arrogance or putting on a facade of superiority. It's about being secure in who you are and in the choices you've made. It's about showing the world and yourself that you don't need to overcompensate or act out of desperation to prove your value. Desperation, on the other hand, sends the opposite message. It implies a lack of control, a lack of self-assurance, and a fear of losing something or someone. But here's the truth: what is meant for you will never require you to chase it. Composure is an extension of confidence. It's the ability to remain calm and deliberate, even in situations that might provoke anxiety or uncertainty. People often mistake composure for indifference, but it's much more than that. It's a reflection of inner strength and self-control. By staying composed, you show that you're not easily rattled or swayed by circumstances. You convey that you're in charge of your emotions and that you won't let anyone else dictate your state of mind. Confidence is also about boundaries. When you know your worth, you won't allow others to overstep or treat you in ways that undermine your dignity. Staying confident and composed means holding firm to those boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or when others try to test them. For instance, if someone contacts you with half-hearted intentions or vague apologies, your confident response might be to require clarity or to take a step back altogether. Your composure in those moments shows that you respect yourself enough to demand more. Desperation, by contrast, comes from a place of fear of rejection, fear of loss, or fear of being alone. But confidence knows that rejection is not a reflection of your value, and being alone is not a punishment but an opportunity for growth. When you respond from a place of confidence, you radiate a sense of abundance, showing that you don't need anyone or anything to complete you. This doesn't mean you don't care, it means you value yourself enough to wait for what aligns with your standards. Staying confident and composed also involves listening more than you speak. Often when emotions run high, the impulse is to over-explain, justify, or fill silences with words. But silence, when paired with confidence, can be incredibly powerful. It gives you the space to think, to process, and to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. It also shows the other person that you're not in a rush to prove anything. Your confidence speaks for itself. In the moments where your confidence is tested, remind yourself of the bigger picture. This interaction, this conversation, this decision, it's all part of a larger journey. Staying composed doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, it means channeling them in a way that serves your growth rather than undermines it. Confidence is about showing up authentically, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. Confidence is a choice you make every day. It's choosing to believe in yourself even when doubt creeps in. It's choosing to value your peace over temporary satisfaction. And it's choosing to respond to life's challenges with grace and dignity. When you stay confident and composed, you not only command respect from others, but also deepen the respect you have for yourself. You become a living example of strength, self-assurance, and quiet power, and that speaks louder than desperation ever could. Value is not something you declare, it's something you demonstrate. The way you carry yourself, the standards you set, and the actions you take all reflect how much you value yourself. When someone seeks to re-enter your life, it's essential to make it clear, not just through words but through your behavior, that access to you is a privilege, not a right. Letting someone earn their way back into your life isn't about playing games or withholding affection. It's about honoring the person you've become and ensuring that any relationship moving forward is built on mutual respect and effort. When you value yourself, you naturally set a standard for how others should treat you. You no longer settle for half measures, vague promises, or inconsistent behavior. Instead, you require consistency, clarity, and commitment before opening the door to someone who once had access to your heart. This doesn't mean you're unforgiving or closed off. It means you've learned the importance of protecting your peace and prioritizing your self-worth. Making someone earn their way back starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're guidelines that show others how to engage with you respectfully. If someone reaches out, assess their intentions. Are they coming back with genuine effort? Or are they testing the waters to see if they still have a hold on you? Be discerning. People who truly value you will respect your boundaries and put in the effort to show they're serious. Those who don't will reveal themselves quickly when faced with your firm but respectful standards. This is not a time for quick decisions or rushing back into old dynamics. Take the time to observe their actions, not just their words. Words can be easy, but consistent, thoughtful actions take effort. Are they showing up for you in a meaningful way? Are they respecting the growth you've achieved? Making someone earn access to you again means giving them the opportunity to prove their intentions through their behavior, not just their promises. It's equally important to focus on yourself during this time. When someone reappears, it can be tempting to shift your energy toward them, trying to analyze their motives or figure out where things stand. But the real work lies in continuing to prioritize your own growth and happiness. When you pour into yourself, whether through pursuing your passions, deepening your relationships with others, or practicing self-care, you reinforce the message that your world doesn't revolve around anyone else. This not only strengthens your sense of self, but also shows the other person that you are whole on your own. Letting someone earn access to you again is also about recognizing your own power. You are the gatekeeper of your life, and you get to decide who enters and stays. This isn't about control, it's about choice. You've worked hard to grow, heal, and become the person you are today. That work deserves to be protected. If someone wants to be a part of your life, they must align with the person you've become, not the person you used to be. Resist the urge to make it easy for them. Sometimes, out of a desire for reconciliation or closure, we give too much too soon. We accept apologies without seeing change, or we fall back into familiar patterns because they feel comfortable. But growth is about moving forward, not backward. By requiring someone to earn their place in your life, you're not being difficult or unkind, you're being intentional. You're showing that you value yourself enough to require more. This process is not about punishment, it's about respect for yourself and for the relationship you deserve. When you make someone earn access to you again, you set the foundation for a healthier dynamic. You're not settling for breadcrumbs or empty promises, you're inviting them to rise to meet you where you are. And if they're unwilling or unable to do so, you know that your worth is not diminished. You can walk away with your dignity intact, knowing that you chose yourself over anything less than you deserve. Making someone earn access to you again is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that you will no longer accept less than you are worth. It's a commitment to honoring your growth and ensuring that anyone who enters your life adds to it rather than diminishes it. When you hold yourself to this standard, you create space for relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, effort, and authenticity, and those are the only relationships worth having. In conclusion, making someone earn access to you again is not about punishment or playing games. It's about recognizing your own worth and ensuring that any relationship in your life aligns with the person you've become. By setting clear boundaries, observing actions over words, and continuing to invest in your own growth, you demonstrate to the world that your peace, time, and energy are not to be taken for granted. When you value yourself, you naturally set the standard for how others should treat you, and those who truly value you will respect that. This is an act of self-respect and self-love, and it is the foundation for healthier, more authentic relationships moving forward. Thank you for listening and reflecting on this message. Your journey toward valuing yourself and making others earn their place in your life is a powerful one, and I believe in your ability to continue building a life that reflects your worth.
We live in a world driven by validation. From social media likes to the applause of peers, our actions are often tethered to the hope of gaining someone else's attention. But what if I told you that the true power lies not in seeking the spotlight, but in walking confidently as though you don't need anyone's approval? Think about it. When someone walks into a room exuding quiet confidence, not looking around to see who notices them, doesn't their presence demand your attention? They are not trying, they just are. This magnetic energy stems from an inner assurance that they don't need external acknowledgement to validate their worth. What happens when you stop chasing attention? You shift your focus inward, and an amazing transformation occurs. The things you've been chasing, recognition, respect, admiration, begin to find their way to you naturally. The paradox is profound. The less you try to attract attention, the more people are drawn to you. In this speech, we'll explore the art of detachment from external validation. By acting like you don't want anyone's attention, you embody a state of independence and self-assuredness that elevates your energy. This state is not arrogance, it's quiet power. It's about recognizing that your worth is not determined by others, but by the depth of your belief in yourself. This isn't just about how you interact with others, it's about how you view yourself. When you detach from the need for approval, you align with the universal truth that you are already whole, complete, and worthy. The need for attention dissolves, and you move through life with a calm, magnetic presence. Today, we're going to uncover 6 key principles to help you step into this mindset. But first, let me share a perspective that will shift the way you think about attention altogether. Imagine this: you're standing in a crowded room, voices buzzing around you, people laughing, others glancing at their phones. You've just walked in. What's the first thought that crosses your mind? For most people, it's a self-conscious moment. Are people looking at me? Do I look okay? What do they think? These fleeting thoughts betray the part of us that craves validation. But what if, instead of wondering who's watching you, you walked into that room with a completely different energy, one that says, I don't need to be seen, I am enough as I am. This doesn't mean shrinking into invisibility or avoiding the world altogether. It means carrying yourself with an effortless confidence that speaks volumes without uttering a word. People will notice you not because you're trying to be noticed, but because you've mastered the rare art of detachment. Here's the secret: those who constantly seek attention rarely get the kind they want. But those who remain grounded, who radiate self-assurance without asking for applause, become the center of attention without even trying. It's not about playing hard to get or pretending to be aloof. It's about authentically knowing that your value isn't dependent on who notices you. There's a mystery in this approach. People are drawn to what they can't easily figure out. When you stop projecting a need for attention, you become intriguing. They start to wonder what's different about them. Why do they seem so at peace? This silent curiosity becomes your greatest ally. So how do you cultivate this energy? What does it take to act like you don't want anyone's attention and yet command it effortlessly? Let's dive into the 6 principles that will transform the way you walk through life. Confidence is not something you acquire from the outside, it is an inner quality that emerges when you truly know and accept who you are. Many people believe confidence comes from achievements, accolades, or external validation. They chase compliments, recognition, and approval, thinking these will fill the void they feel inside. But this approach is flawed. True confidence doesn't arise from what others think of you, it stems from your own unshakable belief in yourself. When you stop seeking validation from others, you release yourself from a cycle of dependence. Imagine constantly needing others to tell you that you're good enough, smart enough, or attractive enough. It's exhausting, isn't it? Not only is it unsustainable, but it also places your sense of worth in the hands of others. What happens when the compliments stop, or when criticism replaces praise? If your confidence is tied to external validation, it will crumble the moment approval is withheld. Shift your focus inward. Begin by asking yourself some fundamental questions. Who am I when no one is looking? What do I value most about myself? What makes me unique? The answers to these questions will help you see that your worth is inherent. It doesn't rely on external circumstances or opinions. You are valuable simply because you exist. Building inner confidence requires self-awareness. Take time to understand your strengths and acknowledge your weaknesses without judgment. Confidence doesn't mean pretending you're perfect or ignoring areas for growth. On the contrary, it means embracing your imperfections and realizing they don't diminish your worth. When you accept yourself fully, flaws and all, you become unshakable. No criticism or rejection can destabilize you because you've already made peace with who you are. Another key aspect of cultivating inner confidence is self-commitment. Show up for yourself every day. Set goals, no matter how small, and follow through. Each time you honor a promise to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you can rely on yourself. This consistent self-trust builds an unbreakable foundation for confidence. Over time, you'll notice that you don't need others to validate your worth because you've already proven it to yourself. A powerful practice for developing inner confidence is shifting your self-talk. Pay attention to the way you speak to yourself, especially in moments of doubt or failure. Many people are their own harshest critics, berating themselves for mistakes or perceived shortcomings. This negative self-talk erodes confidence over time. Instead, practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend, encouraging, supportive, and understanding. Remind yourself of your strengths and the progress you've made, no matter how small. Visualization is another tool that can help you build confidence. Close your eyes and imagine the version of yourself who is fully confident and self-assured. See how they walk, talk, and carry themselves. Feel the energy they radiate. Now step into that version of yourself mentally and begin to embody it in your daily life. You don't have to wait for some external milestone to feel confident. Act as if you already are, and your mind will begin to align with this reality. Inner confidence also grows when you learn to detach from the opinions of others. Understand that everyone views the world, including you, through their own lens of experiences, biases, and insecurities. Someone's opinion of you is not a reflection of your true worth, it's a reflection of their perspective. When you internalize this truth, you free yourself from the need to constantly measure up to others' expectations. You can then focus on living authentically, guided by your own values and desires. Embracing failure is another crucial step in building inner confidence. Many people fear failure because they see it as a sign of inadequacy. But failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's a natural part of growth. Each failure carries a lesson, an opportunity to learn and improve. When you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a stepping stone, your confidence will soar. You will realize that even setbacks can't diminish your value or your ability to move forward. Surround yourself with positivity. The people and environments you choose to engage with can either uplift you or drain you. Seek out individuals who inspire you, who believe in you, and who encourage your growth. At the same time, distance yourself from toxic influences that undermine your confidence. While your inner confidence is self-generated, having a supportive environment can reinforce your belief in yourself. Celebrate your progress. Confidence is not built overnight, it's a journey. Acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small. Did you speak up in a meeting when you usually stay silent? Did you try something new, even though you felt nervous? These moments are victories and they deserve recognition. Celebrate them as evidence of your growth and resilience. When you cultivate inner confidence, you step into a space of true power. You no longer need others to tell you that you're enough because you already know it. This doesn't mean you won't appreciate compliments or feedback, but they will become a bonus, not a necessity. Your confidence will radiate from within, and this energy is magnetic. People will naturally be drawn to you not because you're seeking their attention, but because you embody the rare and inspiring quality of someone who knows their worth. By focusing on your inner world, you'll discover that the most important validation comes from yourself. When you stop seeking approval from others, you create space for authentic confidence to flourish. And this confidence will carry you through life with grace, strength, and unwavering self-assurance. Silence is a powerful force, often underestimated in a world that prizes loudness and constant communication. In a society filled with noise, voices clamoring for attention, opinions vying to dominate, and an endless stream of chatter, silence stands out like a beacon of wisdom. The ability to master silence and embrace its strength can transform how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Speaking less and listening more is not about withdrawing or being passive. It is about using silence intentionally as a tool to command respect and deepen understanding. When you hold back from speaking unnecessarily, you create space to observe, learn, and reflect. This quiet restraint can often say more than words ever could. People who know when to remain silent exude an aura of thoughtfulness and depth. Their presence alone can shift the energy in a room, drawing attention not through noise but through quiet confidence. One of the greatest gifts of silence is the power it gives to listening. When you are silent, you allow others to speak, and in doing so, you gain access to their thoughts, emotions, and perspectives. This deep listening fosters genuine connection and understanding. It shows that you value what others have to say, which in turn makes them feel heard and respected. This simple act of listening is rare in a world where so many are focused on what they will say next, rather than truly absorbing what is being said. Silence also creates space for self-reflection. When you are not constantly speaking, you have the opportunity to process your thoughts and emotions. This helps you respond to situations with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. It allows you to weigh your words carefully, ensuring that when you do speak, your message carries weight and significance. People are more likely to listen when they know your words are intentional and not just noise filling the void. Silence can be incredibly captivating. It builds anticipation and draws others in. When you pause before responding, you demonstrate that you are thoughtful and deliberate. This pause, however brief, signals that you are considering your words carefully. It creates an air of mystery and depth, making others eager to hear what you have to say. In contrast, those who speak endlessly without pause often dilute the impact of their words. Silence also gives you the upper hand in situations where emotions run high. Arguments, for instance, often escalate because both parties feel the need to dominate the conversation. But what if you chose silence instead? By refraining from reacting immediately, you maintain control over your emotions and the situation. Your silence can disarm the other person, forcing them to reflect on their own words and actions. It shifts the power dynamic, allowing you to respond from a place of calm and reason rather than anger or frustration. Practicing silence requires discipline, especially in a world that encourages constant expression. It is tempting to fill every pause with words or to assert your opinions at every opportunity. But true mastery of silence lies in recognizing that not every situation requires your voice. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Focusing on your purpose is one of the most transformative things you can do in life. It is like setting your compass to true north, ensuring every step you take aligns with the direction you truly want to go. When you are deeply engrossed in your goals and your sense of purpose, something remarkable happens. You become centered, intentional, and magnetic. This energy draws people and opportunities to you effortlessly, without the need for forced interaction or attention-seeking behavior. When you focus on your purpose, you remove distractions that dilute your energy. You stop worrying about what others think or how they perceive you. Instead, your mind is set on the tasks and decisions that bring you closer to your vision. This clarity creates a powerful sense of momentum. It allows you to channel your energy into actions that matter rather than wasting it on things that don't serve your growth. As a result, you begin to accomplish more with less effort, and the progress you make fuels your confidence. Your purpose-driven focus also sharpens your decision-making. Life is full of choices, and without a clear purpose, it's easy to become overwhelmed or make decisions based on fleeting emotions. However, when your purpose is clear, every choice becomes simpler. You can quickly discern what aligns with your goals and what doesn't. This sense of alignment not only saves you time but also gives you a profound sense of inner peace, knowing that you're living according to your own values and aspirations. When you are deeply immersed in your purpose, you naturally exude a focused energy that others find captivating. This isn't something you have to try to project, it emanates from within you. People are drawn to individuals who are passionate and committed, not because of what they say, but because of the energy they embody. This silent charisma speaks louder than words. It shows that you are someone who knows what they want and is actively working to achieve it. It inspires others and often invites opportunities into your life that align with your goals. Staying focused on your purpose also helps you build resilience. Pursuing meaningful goals isn't always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. However, when your purpose is strong, it becomes your anchor. It reminds you why you started and keeps you moving forward, even when the path gets difficult. This unwavering commitment to your purpose not only helps you overcome obstacles, but also builds a sense of inner strength that others can't help but notice. Another remarkable effect of focusing on your purpose is the clarity it brings to your relationships. When you are clear about your goals and values, you naturally attract people who share or support them. At the same time, those who don't align with your vision tend to drift away. This isn't something you have to force, it happens naturally as your energy shifts. By staying true to your purpose, you cultivate relationships that are meaningful and mutually supportive, while letting go of those that drain or distract you. Focusing on your purpose also leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Many people spend their lives chasing superficial goals or seeking validation from others, only to find that these pursuits leave them feeling empty. True fulfillment comes from within, from knowing that you are living in alignment with your values and contributing to something that matters to you. This fulfillment radiates outward, creating a sense of joy and contentment that others can sense and admire. One of the most profound aspects of focusing on your purpose is how it shifts your perspective on time. When you are aligned with your goals, you begin to see time not as something to be filled, but as a precious resource to be used wisely. You become more intentional with how you spend your days, prioritizing activities that move you closer to your vision. This intentionality not only increases your productivity, but also allows you to savor the journey. Every step, no matter how small, feels meaningful because it is part of a larger picture. Living with purpose also empowers you to silence the noise of comparison. In a world dominated by social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to get caught up in comparing your life to others. But when you are focused on your own path, you realize that comparison is irrelevant. Your journey is unique, and your purpose is yours alone. This realization frees you from the need to measure up to others and allows you to celebrate your own progress, no matter where you are on your journey. Focusing on your purpose transforms the way you live. It shifts your energy from seeking attention or approval to creating value and meaning. This shift not only brings you closer to your goals, but also makes you a source of inspiration to others. People are naturally drawn to those who are passionate and focused, not because they demand attention, but because they embody a quiet confidence that speaks for itself. By dedicating yourself to your purpose, you create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. You discover that the most important validation comes from within, from knowing that you are living true to yourself. This inner alignment is what makes you magnetic. not because you're trying to attract attention, but because you found something far more powerful, a life lived with meaning and intention. Cultivating self-sufficiency is one of the most empowering paths you can take in life. It means relying on yourself for emotional fulfillment and recognizing that your sense of worth comes from within, not from external sources. In a world that often encourages dependency on others for validation, self-sufficiency sets you apart as someone who is truly independent and emotionally grounded. This independence doesn't just free you from the approval of others, it allows you to live authentically, with strength and confidence radiating from every aspect of your being. Emotional self-sufficiency begins with understanding that no one else is responsible for your happiness. While relationships and connections are valuable, they should enhance your life, not define it. Depending on others for emotional validation is like building a house on shifting sand. It leaves you vulnerable to their moods, actions, and opinions. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you create a solid foundation for your happiness, one that no external circumstance can shake. This inner stability is not just liberating, it is transformative. When you rely on yourself for emotional fulfillment, you gain control over your reactions and responses. You stop seeking approval from others to feel good about yourself. Instead, you develop an internal compass that guides your decisions and helps you measure your worth. This shift allows you to approach life with a sense of autonomy and resilience. Criticism no longer feels like a personal attack, and praise doesn't dictate your self-esteem. You become the source of your own validation, a wellspring of confidence that doesn't run dry. Self-sufficiency also requires developing a deep understanding of yourself. When you know who you are, your values, strengths, and aspirations, you no longer need others to affirm your identity. This self-awareness acts as a shield, protecting you from the constant comparison and judgment that can erode self-worth. It allows you to move through the world with quiet assurance, knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough, just as you are. One of the most profound effects of cultivating self-sufficiency is the sense of strength it projects. People are naturally drawn to those who exude independence and self-reliance. This isn't about being aloof or isolated, it's about showing that you are capable of standing on your own. This quiet strength is magnetic because it signals confidence and stability. Others respect and admire those who are not easily swayed by external forces, and this respect often leads to more meaningful and balanced relationships. Self-sufficiency also empowers you to set healthy boundaries. When you are emotionally independent, you no longer feel the need to say yes to everyone or to accommodate others at the expense of your own well-being. You understand that prioritizing your needs is not selfish, it's necessary. This ability to set boundaries creates space for you to focus on your goals and passions without being weighed down by unnecessary obligations or toxic relationships. It also teaches others to respect your time and energy, reinforcing the strength and independence you embody. Building emotional self-sufficiency is not about shutting people out or avoiding connection. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with others in a more authentic and fulfilling way. When you don't rely on others to fill emotional voids, you approach relationships from a place of wholeness. This means you can give and receive love freely, without the fear of losing yourself in the process. Relationships become about sharing your life, not seeking completion or validation. Self-sufficiency also enhances your problem-solving abilities. When challenges arise, you trust yourself to handle them rather than looking to others for answers or rescue. This trust in your own capabilities builds resilience and fosters a sense of accomplishment. Each problem you solve independently reinforces your belief in your ability to navigate life's complexities. This self-reliance becomes a source of pride and strength, fueling your confidence even further. Another key aspect of cultivating self-sufficiency is taking responsibility for your emotions. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for how we feel, but true independence comes from owning your emotional state. This means recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. This mindset shift is incredibly empowering because it puts the reins of your emotional well-being firmly in your hands. At its core, self-sufficiency is about freedom, the freedom to live authentically, make your own choices, and find fulfillment within yourself. This freedom is a gift you give to yourself, and it has a ripple effect on every area of your life. When you rely on yourself for emotional fulfillment, you stop being at the mercy of others' opinions, actions, or approval. You become the master of your own destiny, charting a course that aligns with your true self. Self-sufficiency is not just about independence, it's about empowerment. It's about recognizing that you are your own source of strength, your own anchor in the storm. This realization is profoundly liberating. It allows you to move through life with a sense of purpose and confidence that is unshakable. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you become the kind of person who doesn't need attention or validation from others, because you already have everything you need within you. And in that self-reliance, you find a strength and peace that is truly unmatched. Detaching from outcomes is a powerful practice that can transform your life. At its core, it is about releasing the need to control how others perceive you or how situations unfold. Instead of clinging to expectations, you allow life to flow naturally, trusting that the right outcomes will emerge. This detachment liberates you from the constant pressure of seeking approval, creating a sense of ease and freedom that makes your presence undeniably magnetic. When you let go of the need to control how others perceive you, you step into authenticity. So much of our energy is spent crafting images or behaviors to fit what we think others want from us. This not only drains your energy but also distances you from your true self. When you release the compulsion to manage others' perceptions, you create space to be genuine. Authenticity is attractive because it's rare. People are drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves, unbothered by the opinions of others. This magnetic quality isn't forced, it arises naturally when you are at peace with who you are. Detachment from outcomes also fosters a sense of calm and confidence. Worrying about how you are perceived or whether a situation will go exactly as planned creates tension and anxiety. This internal struggle is often visible to others, making you seem uncertain or overly invested. However, when you detach, you radiate a sense of serenity. This calm energy signals strength and self-assurance, qualities that others find compelling. Paradoxically, by letting go of the need for approval, you often receive it without trying. This practice doesn't mean you stop caring or striving for meaningful goals. Detachment is not about apathy, it's about trust. You trust that you've done your part and allow the results to unfold as they will. This mindset frees you from obsessing over outcomes and helps you focus on the present moment. When you're fully present, your actions are more deliberate and your interactions are more genuine. People notice and appreciate this grounded presence, often without understanding why they feel so drawn to it. Detaching from outcomes also frees you from the trap of overthinking. When you're overly concerned with how others perceive you, your mind becomes a whirlwind of second-guessing and hypothetical scenarios. This mental chatter not only exhausts you but also hinders your ability to connect with others authentically. By letting go, you quiet the noise in your mind, allowing you to engage more deeply with the people and situations around you. This clarity enhances your relationships and makes your interactions more meaningful. One of the most liberating aspects of detachment is the freedom it gives you to take risks. Fear of failure or rejection often holds us back from pursuing our dreams or expressing ourselves fully. But when you're no longer tied to specific outcomes, the fear diminishes. You realize that even if things don't go as planned, your worth remains unchanged. This courage to act without fear of judgment is incredibly empowering. It allows you to explore new opportunities, learn from setbacks, and grow in ways you never imagined. Letting go of outcomes also deepens your sense of self-worth. When your confidence is tied to how others perceive you or the success of your endeavors, it becomes fragile and conditional. But when you detach, you recognize that your value doesn't depend on external factors. This intrinsic self-worth is unshakable. It gives you the resilience to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, knowing that your essence remains intact regardless of circumstances. Another profound effect of detachment is the energy shift it creates. When you stop striving for validation or control, you release a heavy burden. This lightness is palpable and contagious. People feel at ease around someone who isn't trying too hard or projecting desperation. Instead, your relaxed demeanor invites others to connect with you on a deeper level. This natural magnetism is a byproduct of your inner peace, not something you can manufacture or fake. Detachment also helps you cultivate a sense of gratitude. When you're not fixated on achieving specific outcomes, you become more aware of the blessings in your life as they are. This gratitude fosters a positive outlook that further enhances your presence. People are drawn to those who exude joy and contentment, and this energy becomes a natural extension of your detachment. Detachment allows you to embrace the uncertainty of life. While it's natural to want control, the truth is that much of life is unpredictable. By letting go of the need to manage every detail, you open yourself up to possibilities you might never have considered. This openness makes life more vibrant and exciting, and it helps you approach each moment with curiosity, rather than fear. This adventurous spirit is magnetic because it inspires others to see life in a new light. Detachment is about trusting yourself and the flow of life. It's about knowing that you are enough, regardless of how others perceive you or how situations unfold. This trust frees you from the constant need for approval, allowing you to move through the world with confidence, grace, and authenticity. And in that freedom, you discover a magnetic presence that draws people and opportunities to you effortlessly, not because you're seeking them, but because you no longer need to. Radiating calm confidence is one of the most impactful ways to influence and inspire those around you. It's not about speaking the loudest or dominating a room, it's about embodying a quiet, assured energy that makes people feel at ease in your presence. This type of confidence is not rooted in arrogance or an inflated ego. Instead, it stems from a deep sense of inner peace and self-assurance that comes from knowing who you are and being comfortable with that truth. This energy naturally attracts others, as people are instinctively drawn to those who exude balance and stability. One of the first steps to radiating calm confidence is mastering your physical presence. How you carry yourself speaks volumes before you even say a word. When you walk into a room, do so with purpose and poise. Stand tall, keep your shoulders relaxed, and maintain steady, deliberate movements. This posture conveys both strength and approachability, creating an aura that invites respect and trust. A relaxed demeanor doesn't suggest passivity, it reflects a self-assuredness that doesn't rely on grand gestures to make an impression. Your voice is another powerful tool in projecting calm confidence. Speak with clarity and intention, avoiding rushed or overly loud speech. A steady tone conveys authority and composure, even when addressing challenging topics. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Pausing thoughtfully before responding in a conversation signals that you value the exchange and are fully present. This mindful communication style fosters a sense of trust and engagement, making your words carry more weight. Beyond physicality, radiating calm confidence requires cultivating a genuine sense of inner peace. This begins with self-awareness. When you understand your strengths, values, and goals, you create a foundation of security that external circumstances cannot easily shake. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others because your confidence comes from within. This inner stability allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, maintaining your composure even under pressure. People notice this resilience and are naturally drawn to it. Another critical aspect of calm confidence is mastering your emotional energy. It's easy to let stress, frustration, or insecurity seep into your interactions, but when you're grounded, you can remain composed regardless of the situation. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather learning to manage them effectively. When you're in control of your emotional state, you exude a sense of reliability and strength that others admire. They feel safe and reassured in your presence, knowing that you won't be easily rattled. Calm confidence also shines through in how you handle social interactions. Rather than dominating conversations or seeking the spotlight, focus on being present and genuinely interested in others. Active listening is a hallmark of confidence. It shows that you don't feel the need to constantly assert yourself to be heard. By giving others your full attention, you create meaningful connections and demonstrate that your self-worth isn't tied to being the center of attention. This approach makes people feel valued, which further enhances your influence. Your ability to remain calm in the face of conflict or uncertainty is another defining trait of confident individuals. Life is full of unpredictable moments, and how you respond to them speaks volumes about your character. When you approach challenges with a calm demeanor and a clear mind, you signal to others that you are capable and in control. This doesn't mean you won't feel pressure or stress, but your ability to manage it effectively becomes a source of inspiration for those around you. They see you as someone who can be trusted to lead, support, and make sound decisions. Calm confidence is also deeply connected to self-discipline. When you commit to personal growth and consistency in your actions, it reinforces your sense of competence and integrity. This discipline reflects in every aspect of your life, from the way you carry yourself to the way you interact with others. It creates a sense of reliability and trustworthiness, which further amplifies your magnetic presence. People admire those who are steadfast and dependable, and this admiration often turns into respect. To radiate calm confidence, it's essential to let go of the need for external validation. When you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself from the fear of judgment or rejection. This liberation allows you to act authentically and align with your true self. It's this authenticity that people are most drawn to because it's rare and refreshing. They sense that you are not trying to impress them but are simply at peace with who you are. This genuine energy is what makes your presence so compelling. At its core, calm confidence is about balance. It's the ability to be strong yet gentle, assertive yet humble, and composed yet approachable. It's not about pretending to have it all together, but about embracing your imperfections and owning your journey. When you embody this balance, you create an atmosphere that draws people in and makes them want to be around you. They see in you a model of what it means to live with grace and assurance, and they can't help but be inspired. In cultivating this calm confidence, you not only enhance your own life but also positively impact those around you. Your energy becomes a source of comfort and encouragement, showing others that it's possible to navigate life with both strength and ease. This quiet assurance becomes your most powerful tool, allowing you to lead, connect, and inspire without ever needing to demand attention. It's a presence that speaks for itself, effortlessly drawing people to you and leaving a lasting impression. In conclusion, the essence of acting like you don't want anyone's attention lies in mastering the art of self-possession. When you embody inner confidence, focus on your purpose, cultivate self-sufficiency, master the power of silence, detach from outcomes, and radiate calm confidence, you transform into someone who doesn't need validation to feel complete. This quiet strength naturally draws people toward you, not because you demand their attention, but because your presence commands it effortlessly. Remember, the energy you project into the world begins within you. When you center your focus on becoming the best version of yourself, independent of others' opinions or approval, you create a magnetic force that others can't help but notice. The more you prioritize your peace, your goals, and your growth, the more your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. Thank you for allowing me to share these insights with you. May you continue to walk your path with confidence, purpose, and grace. Remember, the true power lies within you, and you're more capable than you realize. Wishing you every success on your journey. Thank you.